Hello everyone, welcome to Larissa's Lace, to our new lesson. And today we are going to crochet seventh background netting. Its instructions can be found in the book of Masterpieces of Irish Crochet Lace on page 31. And we will follow my video step by step and crochet this beautiful background netting together. Before I will start my lesson, I would like to remind you that you can follow me on Facebook page. I posted in comments and also in the description of this video at the very bottom of the video when you're looking through the telephone or computer, you can see about this video links that you can follow me on Facebook. You can save those links to your bookmark those, and Instagram. Also, you can follow me on PayPal. On PayPal, on Pinterest. Pinterest, the same name, Larissa's Lace. And please do not forget to like my videos. This will help a lot. Also, I'm not demanding this, but I just ask if you don't mind. You don't have to do that, but if you want to support this channel, I will really appreciate that. And you can follow the link that I posted in comments to donate during the lesson or after, or any time of your liking when you want. And you can also find the link to donations in description under the video. So, for now I'm trying to find my video also on a computer. For some reason it's not showing up. So during the lesson, please ask me questions. You're welcome to ask any questions regarding this lesson, and I will answer as I crochet. Also, please notice that next month I'm going to have to hold online workshop. All information about this workshop is on my Facebook page, Larissa's Lace, and also you can find this information on Instagram. All information about thread, about materials needed for that workshop, and what we will do, and how to join this workshop, how to pay for it, and all other information you can find on my Facebook page or Instagram page. Okay, so right now, I see we already have 5 minutes past. I will just continue with my lesson. We will jump in and crochet this beautiful background netting. I like to call this netting background netting with picot triplets, or triplets with picots, 3 picots combined in one little cluster. That actually reminds me of clover, shamrock, of 3 leaves. It's a very beautiful background, not very difficult to make. So this is what we will make today. I will teach just for this lesson. For lessons actually online, it's always easier to show using a thicker thread. So I will use thread number 10. With crochet hook number 1, you can also use the same thread. And if it's not easy for you to use 1mm hook, you can go and use hook 1.25 millimeters. So that will also work. The reason I'm using this thick thread for the lesson is to show the little details that are very important, and it's easier to show them when you use thicker thread. Also, I will show you today how to make picot triplet like this, that look like a shamrock. So in order to show every little detail about this, this is why I'm going to use thread number 10. So let's pick up thread that you're going to use and make a chain just for small swatch to learn and to practice. Crochet chain 40 plus 1 stitches, so 41 stitches for the lesson, for this lesson. It's enough just to practice. And first we will make the first row. We will skip 1 stitch, and in the next stitch, the second stitch from the hook, we will make single crochet stitch. Single crochet. After that, we will make chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let me show you on the netting how this look like and what we are doing. So this will be right in here, this chain 7. And now we will make another chain 7 for first picot. Each picot will consist of a chain that is 7 stitches long. So chain 7, chain 7, chain 7, each picot. And how to make it, I will show you. So make first chain 7, and then to make it easier so I don't have to count stitches, I just put my finger on the last stitch, not the stitch on a hook, but just preceding the stitch on a hook. And then I make my first picot. Chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So skip 6 stitches and into the first or 7th stitch, if you count from right to left, insert hook and make slip stitch in that stitch right here. This will be your first picot. After that, we'll make another picot. Again, chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And again, we're going into the very first stitch and make slip stitch. One very important little trick that I discovered for me, when you insert the hook into the stitch right now, make sure to pick up not just one loop, but make sure to pick up 2 loops of that stitch on a chain. If you will pick up only one loop, you will stretch this area here in such a way that your shamrock or your triplet will not look very pretty. It will look quite sloppy. I didn't have luck with that. I am tight crocheter, but I prefer to go and insert my hook into 2 loops. You can see even very clearly that I pick up 2 loops of a chain stitch and make your slip stitch here. Slip stitch. Make sure that your slip stitches are tight. So 2 picots are made. Next, last third picot, again chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again into the very first stitch of chain 7, insert hook into 2 loops and make your slip stitch. So 3 picots are made. Now, to close this triplet, we're going to make slip stitch in the last stitch of this chain 7. We have this chain 7 and the stitch preceding the first picot right here. Again, pick up 2 loops. Make sure you insert the hook into 2 loops of that stitch on a chain. And also make here slip stitch. Make sure it's tight. And next step, chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. After that, let's find our single crochet right here, right? Insert the hook into the 10th stitch on the foundation chain. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So insert hook into the 10th stitch. Again, I pick up 2 loops here on the chain and make single crochet there. So your pattern for this will be, so we have our foundation chain. You start with single crochet stitch that is made into the 2nd stitch of the chain. Then we'll make chain 7, and then we'll make triplet of 3 picots. Chain 7, slip stitch into the chain of 7, first stitch. Then again chain 7, slip stitch into the first stitch of chain 7. Again chain 7, slip stitch into the chain, first stitch of chain 7. And then 1 more slip stitch into this chain right here, into the last stitch, the stitch that is right in front or before the first picot. After that, make sure that that slip stitch is nice and tight. Make chain 6, skip 9 stitches on foundation chain, and make single crochet stitch on the 10th stitch of this foundation chain. So this is your first arch with triplet picots. And then repeat basically the same thing. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're making our triplet. For triplet, chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hook into the first stitch of chain 7, pick up 2 loops of stitch and make a slip stitch. Again, chain 7. Six, 7. Slip stitch into the first stitch of chain 7. And 1 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I see a comment, but I cannot read it and know what language it is. I think it's hello. So welcome to my lesson. So now again we're going into the stitch that precedes the first picot, just to close the triplet with a slip stitch, like that. And chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, come into the foundation chain, skip 9 stitches and single crochet stitch in the 10th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Make your single crochet stitch here. And now we will repeat. Chain 6, triplet, chain 6. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then triplet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch into the first stitch of the chain. And again chain 7. 7. Slip stitch to close the picot. Hello, Anna Marie from Scotland. Welcome. So chain 7 and again slip stitch to close the last picot. And next stitch right into the chain that precede our picot, first picot. Slip stitch, chain 6. On foundation chain, skip 9 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and into the 10th stitch, make single crochet. And one more time. If you made the same exactly amount of stitches, you will do the same thing. You will have last arch to make. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch. Second picot is ready. And last picot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And slip stitch. Then next slip stitch into the stitch that preceding the first picot. Make sure it is, you pick up 2 loops every time you make your slip stitches. And slip stitch, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Chain 6, and last into the very first stitch here of our foundation chain, we'll make single crochet stitch here. So our first row is done. Here's our first row with triplets. Second row. For the second row, turn your work. So here we are now on the wrong side of our crochet. So first we make chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. After that, we will repeat the same pattern as here. For that reason, we'll make chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we will make triplet. So to make triplet, I always put my finger right in here to know where we're at for the first picot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slip stitch into the first stitch of that chain 7, slip stitch, make it tight. Next picot again, chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slip stitch into the first stitch, and one more picot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and again first stitch into the first stitch, we make a slip stitch. Now we have to connect all the 3 picots in a triplet. We go and make our slip stitch into the first stitch next to first picot, chain 6, 4, 5, 6, and now we will connect to the triplet, and this is tricky part. Since we are right now on the wrong side of our crochet, what we will make, we will crochet single crochet stitch between first and second picot. Then we will make chain 1 and make sure that your chain 1 will be in front of your second picot. And one more single crochet we will make between second and third picot. So let me show you how I do this. So now we connect our arch to the first row. So insert the hook between first and second picot and make single crochet there. Now make sure that your hook, you make your chain 1, and now move your thread, you can see thread and chain 1 in front of the second picot. Now insert the hook between second and third picot, pull threads through and make single crochet like this. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this is how it will look like. We on the wrong side, we made single crochet between first and second picots, then chain 1 in front of second picot, single crochet between second and third picot, chain 6, and from now on we will repeat again triplet, chain 6, and connect to the next picot. Hello from Italy. Hello, Maria. So we have chain 6. I have to move my thread. It's easier for me when it's on the left. Next triplet. First picot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch into the first stitch of a chain. Chain 7 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and close the picot with slip stitch. Second picot is ready, third picot, chain 7. Slip stitch, and next slip stitch into the first stitch that preceding the first picot. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So again we're going and connecting to shamrock, to the triplet. So first we're making single crochet between first and second picots. Insert hook between picots, make single crochet, chain 1, and make sure that your chain 1 and thread right now in front of your second picot. Now insert hook between second and third picot, right there, and make single crochet. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and again we're making our, so this is how it will look like. So basically what you're doing right now, since we're on the wrong side, we will have the chain 1 in front of the second picot, and again making triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, chain 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, again chain 1, no, sorry, it's not chain 1, slip stitch, for some reason chain 1 I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, slip stitch in the first stitch of chain 7. I have 3 picots ready, and close this triplet with slip stitch that is made in a chain stitch that precedes the first picot. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and again connecting to triplet. Single crochet stitch between first and second picots, chain 1, make sure that chain 1 and your stitch in front of the second picot, insert hook between second and third picot, and make single crochet stitch here, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're making last triplet here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, slip stitch in the first stitch of chain 7, first picot, second picot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, slip stitch into the first stitch of chain 7, 2 picots, and third picot, chain 7, slip stitch into the first stitch, 3 picots ready, and connect it all together into the slip stitch into the first chain before first picot, chain 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and again we're connecting to our last arch with triplets. Single crochet between first and second picots, chain 1, thread in front of the second picot, and single crochet between second and third picots, like this. So second row is finished also. Now turn your work, and for the third row again make chain 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then again making repeated pattern. Basically this will be the same almost, the third pattern, the third row almost made as second, but now we're facing the right side of our work, and we will connect to the triplet a little bit different way. So I will show you. So chain 6, now we'll make triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Slip stitch into the first stitch of chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Slip stitch, second picot and third picot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And again, slip stitch into the first stitch of chain 7. And to close the triplet, going into the chain, into the first stitch that precedes the first picot, make slip stitch, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we at the right side, all odd numbers of rows are on the right side and all even numbers will be on the wrong side of your work, on the back. So now we're connecting at the front, and what we're doing. So again, single crochet stitch between first and second picot, single crochet, chain 1, but this time the thread and the chain 1 behind the second picot. And now single crochet stitch again between second and third picots. So making sure that your chain 1 will be behind the second picot. So here's the second row and our chain 1 behind, and third row the chain is behind the picot. So this is how we connect when we crochet odd number of rows. And again we connect it to the triplet and making again the same arch. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Triplet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. First picot. Again chain 7. Close picot with slip stitch. And chain 7. And slip stitch, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, watch how we do this. We connect now in the right side, on the right side of our work, single crochet between first and second picots, chain 1 behind the second picot, single crochet between second and third picots, just like that. Chain 6. That's how it will look like. And continue crochet. Now triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Close the picot with slip stitch. Chain 7. Second picot is done. And third picot. 4, 5, 6, 7. And close it with a slip stitch. And slip stitch into the first stitch right before the first picot. Chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And again connecting to the shamrock. This time single crochet between second and first and second picots, chain 1 behind second picot, and single crochet between second and third picots. And again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. First picot, close with slip stitch, and second picot, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Close with slip stitch. I don't see questions. Nobody asking any questions. That means to me that everything is very clear. 7. And by the way, those are live videos right now, so I can answer all your questions right away. If you're watching it in a recording later as a recorded video, you can make a comment as a question, or question in the form of a comment, and I will answer. Only I will answer later. So now, last arch for the third row, we connect again to the shamrock with a chain 1 on the back of second picot. So this is the difference, and from now on I'm done with my third row. At first it does not make sense here because you just started and you have to block always your background netting like this. So from now on you will repeat the second and third rows. So for the even numbers of rows, you always connect to the shamrock single crochet stitch between first and second, then chain 1 in front of the second shamrock, second picot, and single crochet stitch between second and third picots. It's on the back, even number of rows. And on the front, odd number of rows. This is when you connect to the shamrock with a chain 1 behind the second picot. So you have to watch for this. It's very important. And if you forgot where you at, always look on the back. It will be very distinctly visible that your chain 1 is in front of you. So this is your wrong side of work. So this will help you kind of connect and know where you are. If you have nothing in front of the shamrock, in front of this triplet, only all you see is beautiful 3 picots and basically emptiness here, that means that you're in the right place. And this is how it works. Later, when you will wash it and block netting like that, I would recommend also to pin your picots, all 3 picots. Don't stretch them too much. You can only stretch a little bit this way and a little bit on a height, so to give each section this beautiful diamond shape. So when you will block your background netting, it's important to put pins also in all 3 picots. That way your triplet will look beautiful and nice, will almost remind you of a shamrock. Okay, I was on the wrong side, now it's right side. And so you can see right side and the difference between the right and the wrong side. It's very visible, the stitch in front of each triplet. So we're on the wrong side and the right side. Okay, ladies, now please let me know if you have questions. So now a few words about upcoming workshop. Workshop is coming on June. You can start, you can find all information about this workshop on my Facebook page, Larissa's Lace, or on the Instagram page, also the same name, Larissa's Lace. All information there, all information about materials. Now, you don't need to know how to sew. We will have to have a pattern, sewing pattern. If you don't know how to sew and how to make pattern, you can use your old top of any kind, old dress, whatever you want to use, for our to sew motifs on top and crochet an outfit. So it's not a big deal. The workshop is $100, so you can pay via PayPal to reserve your spot. Hello from Belarus. Hello, Valentina. Hello. And so you can already reserve your spot. It's better if you will do it now, because I would prefer not to have too many people, but at the same time, up to 20-25 people will be great for the online, but it doesn't really matter how many people. As many as I will have, I will take everyone. So the workshop will be online. It will be open as a private Facebook group, and you will be invited to this group after you make a payment. So after you make a payment, I will add you to the group, and you will have enough time before the workshop start to get to know what exactly you will need for that workshop. All information will be slowly, gradually added to the group. And then in June, I will start lessons. So this will be all information for today. Lesson is over. Please remember that in the under the video, in the description, you can find all links to all my pages on the Facebook, on Instagram, on Pinterest, and how you can make donations through PayPal to support this channel. I will really appreciate that if you will help. So this is all for now. I will see you next Thursday. Next Thursday, it's going to be, let's see what, it's going to be the 20th, May 20th. And we will crochet our next ground. Ground 8 we already did with clones knot stitches. But we will make 9th ground. It's a double background netting with picots. And I probably, if I'll have time, I will make 2 lessons at the same time. I will see how my time permit me or not to do that. So that will be all for today. Thank you very much for all of you who joined me today. Please don't forget to like my videos. Don't forget to subscribe and press the bell button so that you can always receive notifications about new video tutorials. Thank you again for watching. Thank you to all who donated. I really appreciate everyone who did that already. You cannot even imagine how thankful I am. So that will be all for today. Thank you very much again and have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.